Welcome into the football show brought to you by KG Law Firm. If I had a brown bag, I'd be wearing it because the Giants did it to me again. For our audience from Detroit, welcome. Stress-free football was back. If you're joining us from around the country, settle in. 45 minutes of good football talk. We get you to Sunday night. Cookies, how you doing, buddy?
Good. This is becoming a fun ritual. Thanks for hanging out with us again this week, guys.
Yeah, fun ritual. It's kind of like Brian Daboll using the fan base as a bidet. But we'll get to that later. Sorry for the visual. 5 big things brought to you by KG Law Firm. I want to start with a question. And I thought it was the most impressive performance of the day. The New England Patriots is a Super Bowl team. They go to Tampa. They've now gone to Buffalo and won. They've gone to Tampa and won. Think about the checklist, Jim. They've got the quarterback. They've got the defense. They've got the coaching and the offensive coordinator in McDaniel. This is starting to feel a little bit like, what was it, 6-7 years ago, Vrabel had Ryan Tannehill in the AFC title game. I wanted your opinion on it because I think the most effective way to do this is when you have a bias like I do. I love Drake May, and the Pats were my sweetheart preseason pick. It's important to step back, let somebody else, here, you put your lenses on it. What do you make of it?
Put my Dan Campbell reading glasses on and take a look at it.
Whoa. Hey, moment of silence for John Morton.
Look, 7 straight wins, the toe-to-toe, head-to-head, not only against the Bills in the division, but then you back it up with another road win on this stretch. Yes, they've got the best run defense in the league. They got a young quarterback taking a leap. Yeah, I see everything you're seeing, but if I may drop one but on the Super Bowl conversation.
Okay, now what size of butt is this?
Well, I'll let you be the judge of this.
Okay.
Drake May, the most sacked quarterback in football coming into this weekend. That's going to be a challenge as the moments get bigger. He did have a bad red zone pick today, picks in 3 straight games. This is not a knock on him. He's taken a big leap, but does he have the leap necessary for them to win the Super Bowl this year in the face of all that pressure? That would be the but.
No, totally fair. Here's the one interesting thing, though, is like when you talk about it, 7 straight wins, your 2 biggest wins are on the road. Jim, they've got a 2-game buffer in the division because of the head-to-head. I'm starting to wonder is like, okay, those concerns, Jim, if they're playing playoff games in Foxborough, does some of that go away?
Hey, maybe.
Who's rolling in? Like, I guess my one thing is like, okay, and we'll talk about it. Buffalo did what they did today. You know, the Chiefs get knocked down a peg. Baltimore is going to be a good story, but I don't think anybody, not even you, has them as what they could have been preseason. You start looking around, you know, Bronco offense looks a little busted. I think I think what's interesting is this. I'm starting to feel, now this is the end of week 10. Jim, I'm starting to wonder if one of the others is going to win the Super Bowl this year. Like we started the year and it was
Who are the others?
Well, okay. So like we started the year, Eagles, Lions, KC, Buffalo. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Someone not in that group. Will it be a Rams? Will it be a Patriots? Will it be a Seattle? I don't know. It's interesting because you're seeing some teams make strong cases, and I know you're going to make a case for the Rams in a minute. So why don't we'll keep it moving. How about best in the NFC? Jim says you don't need to wait till tomorrow night to watch it.
Well, doesn't it feel like Monday night, it's going to be a great game? It's being billed as like, this is it. There's 2 titans of the NFC, Eagles, Packers, someone will make their claim. What if the Rams are already making their claim? And Matthew Stafford did it again in a blowout win today for the Rams, who have the best record in all of football. Are they the best team in the NFC? I'd make the case they are because they've got a guy who's won a Super Bowl playing the best football of his career at quarterback.
Yeah.
They've got multiple playmakers. Devontae Adams, super smart addition for this team. Great route runner, understands the sophistication of the McVay offense. To go with Puka, and then you throw in this wave of defensive linemen that are young and play with reckless abandon. Mike, they're the best team in the NFC.
I had a -5.5 against you, so they're the best team ever. The head-to-heads against you are becoming classic.
Now, hold on. Just a week ago, I had the Bills against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I know, but did we go head-to-head on Saturday too? Buddy, listen, here's the deal. I agree with you. And as much as we want to bury him, if I said to you right now who's best quarterback in football, you could at least have the conversation, Matthew Stafford. I mean, he's got, 25 touchdowns, 2 picks?
2 picks.
The running game, how about Blake Corum out of mothballs, really carving out a role? It's very similar to what Charbonnet's doing in Seattle, too. So it's just kind of, they have every piece. They have every answer. Jim, again, how about this? Are they kind of like Patriots of the NFC? Like, I know he's 37, but Stafford has raised it up a level to where we know they can play with Philly. He had the ball with 2 cracks from the 18-yard line to beat him in the snow in the playoffs last year. They had a shot to kick the game-winning field goal this year. It gets blocked, returned for a TD. I don't know. They've played with the Lions, clearly. A couple of OT classics there. Jim, I have no problem if you want to tell me they're best in the NFC. I don't.
Yeah, look, week-to-week league, but, man, they look like they're playing better than anybody in the NFC. And the only other team, you mentioned them there, Seattle, they're going to play one another next week, so we're going to get to see it.
Yeah, see, that's and again, whether it's Rams, Seattle, Bucks, you start to wonder, is like, will one of the others rise up and do this year? We'll get to Seattle a little bit later. And I know, look, it's a lot like the Lions. You play a less than stellar team. Part of it is, job well done, right? Hey, go business trip, do what you got to do. The other part of it is, okay, these guys stink. This is Seattle back-to-back weeks. They're 50-0 in the second quarter. I looked up, Darnold had 9 passes. They were 35-0. I want to go to number 3. This was just kind of, it's a reminder. Last week, the Lions got taxidermied and put on the wall. This week, it's the Buffalo Bills' turn. We talked about, I'm so mad at myself that I didn't have the testicular fortitude to play this game, but we talked through it on the podcast. I said to you, this is like the IHOP flat as a pancake spot of the week. Buffalo off that high. You're going to go. They know Miami's utter dog shit. They're going to go on the road, and you're like, why is it only 8.5, 9.5? I never expected what I watched, but Buffalo was flat as hell. And if you do that in this league, you're going to get beat. Packers against Carolina 2 weeks ago. You got an entire wall of these big bucks taxidermied up there. That's what happens if you don't bring it. And for Buffalo, I don't know, man. And Kincaid, by the way, got hurt. Did you see that today?
Yeah.
He's become vitally important to what they're doing. Hamstring. He grabbed it. He had to go right out of the game. Probably out a couple of weeks. I'm a little nervous with Buffalo. I really am. I wanted your take.
Well, what kills me is the schedule sets up for them to go be the 1 seed, right, before the season started. And the centerpiece of that was beating Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Well, they did the hard part. And now they don't do the easy part well. They give it right back the very next week. And, Mike, you say flat-footed. They gave up multiple explosive touchdowns, right? It's Waddle for damn near 40 yards. It's Achane with a 50-plus yard run. It's one thing if you make Miami dice you up 8 yards of play down the field. But when you're giving up big explosives like that, you're not locked in. And that's as clear as day. After beating Kansas City, they weren't locked in.
No, and Allen tried to put him on his back. He tried to do the hero routine. At one point, there were 3 snaps in a row. I swear he ran 100 yards to complete like a 6-yard pass.
There's the one play where he gets up to the line of scrimmage and then doubles back and then runs all the way back around into the pocket.
Yes. That was like a 3-game series where any normal human is throwing up in a garbage can.
Yep.
But look, this is the league you play in. If you don't bring it, you're going to lose. And it's just a reminder of like every week you're going to see something and go, how? I want to get to the next one, which is what I have called the give up index. There is a classification of quarterbacks in this league, and we'll still cover some of these games later. But there are some quarterbacks in this league where I just think you have to break glass in case of emergency and you have to get out of the business of this player. May I?
Yeah.
And no, Jordan Love's not in this, you hateful son of a bitch. I'd like to start out with Trevor Lawrence. I can't take anymore. His body language sucks. No, that's not hot take sports radio. Let's be adults now, okay? He walks around like he doesn't give a shit. There's no fire. There's no emotion. He makes losing plays. Can't close games out. Look at today. You're up against Davis Mills by 3 scores. You can't lose that game through an asinine interception. You're throwing a crossing route. How are you floating this? Backer undercuts it. Sure, it's a one-handed pick. It's because you gave him an opportunity to do it. Jags, to me, you got to get out of Trevor Lawrence business. True or false?
True. I mean, I haven't looked up his dead money. Good luck.
Hey, man, I know. None of this
is the same with all these guys you're going to bring up.
Okay, well, then let's get to a guy who was put on IR for an old person, Kyler Murray.
Yep.
He will not be the Cardinals quarterback next year. True or false?
Okay. Correct. Truth.
Where is a landing spot for him? Where
I
is
actually
the
was
Nick
looking at this
Saban
earlier
coaching
today.
rehab clinic for Kyler Murray? Is there a clinic for short quarterbacks? Short rehab.
It's funny you bring this up because I started thinking about who's good enough that they won't pick in the top 5 or top 10. And you know who's got 5 wins? Who also has a short quarterback that doesn't look the part? Carolina?
Well, Bryce was next on the list. My notes say, stinks. The height thing matters. I'll explain. You want to just go to Bryce?
Sure.
Jim, I'm not kidding you. Multiple plays a game you watch, his height and frailty, it absolutely impacts things. Like today, he threw a horrible interception. You know why? There was no window there. And you damn well know he couldn't see over his guys. Like the windows of throwing between your linemen, that's what you got. That's how NFL football works. You don't see above them unless you're one of these, 6'5" behemoths. It's Jim. He barely threw for 100 yards again today. He stinks. It's just you at a certain point you stink. Yeah, okay. But do you want to get in that business with Kyler Murray?
Well, but what I'm going to ask you is, of all the guys you're going to mention, is there Baker, Darnold, Daniel Jones,
I'll give you one
in a change of scenery for any of these dudes?
How about this one? You want a wild one?
Yeah.
Because we're going to get to it later. What about Minnesota? JJ's awful.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell.
Look, it's as favorable a landing spot for any of these guys.
Indoors, favorable, unbelievable sporting cast.
Elite receivers, yeah.
Yeah, so and again, listen, Jim, I know the mathematicians and the abacuses are flying probably in the chat, but the point is change of scenery. Last one. Tua.
You know I'm right there with you.
At his best, he's Goff. At his worst, he's unplayable. Yeah. Look, if you insulate him, we've seen what he can do. Now, I know, well, but he couldn't win in Kansas City in the playoffs. It was -80. The dude's from Hawaii. But, like, Miami, like, where are you going? This is going nowhere.
Yeah.
You got to do a business.
Yeah, no, his contract, I think, is movable after one more year, which sucks. Okay. Which sucks because you're going to run back next year with maybe a new coach to get it right, but the same conclusion we're going to all reach.
Let me give you the last note, and I don't want to be called a boomer by you. I need you to be mature. But I was sitting, doing some notes for this as you were and watching the Lions and then bumping around a little bit because the Lions game was horrific. But the destruction of the late window. This was a joy of America, the 4 p.m. window where you get America's game of the week. But we've had windows with 2 games, 3 games. Hey, here's an idea. Jim, we don't need a game 9 in the morning. We don't need the game on Thursday night. Don't we want the game on Sunday where most of us, not all of us, most of us are home on Sundays and you have an ability, you got your best shot to watch a little football. Jim, they're killing the late window. I mean, at one point we're bouncing around between 40-10 San Francisco, 50-3 Arizona, and the Lions dropping a bomb on the Commanders. What do we got? What we got?
Well, what we got was a letdown. The game that was supposed to be the best game in the window was Niners-Rams, right? Those are 2 teams with winning records in the same division playing for something, and it got lopsided. Like a week ago in the same window, we get Bills and Chiefs, and no one's complaining. If your big game's not going to deliver, then what you have to do is you have to throw more out there. Quantity at that point if you're not getting quality. So where do you get it from? We don't have a Berlin game, Guten Tag. We don't need Madrid next week.
Dude, I died laughing because I didn't even text you because it was maybe 45 minutes ago. I know we're doing this together. I'm like, hola. Oh, next week we're in Madrid. Here's what we're offering Europe. This ought to really bring the nations together. We offer you Dolphins Commanders.
What's that? We're at war with Spain now?
TSA, don't clear these guys. Just keep them home. Nobody wants that, this side of the ocean or not. Nope. Last one of the week. Let's go get a word from the sponsors, and then we got to get to the rundown. We got a zillion games to go through. Hit them with it.
All right, tell you about KG Law. Someone you care about's injured in a car accident, you need KG Law. Lawrence KG and KG Law specialize in car accidents. You're going to get that personal attention to detail from someone who cares about you. Let me tell you about Lawrence KG. He's a Detroiter. He's a down-to-earth dude, and he's someone you want in your corner. He built his business doing things the right way and delivering for his clients. KG Law's won millions of dollars, 98% success rate. Check him out, 877-KG-CARES. It's right there on the screen, K-A-J-Y, KGCares.com.
All right, rundown brought to you by Hungry Howie's Pizza. We do start in, Berlin at the Olympia Stadio. Who cares? But it was a really good football game. Colts 31-25, because if there's a way to lose, Atlanta will surely find it. Like the car keys that you know are in your house, they will search and they will find a way to lose. Get a lead, give up an 83-yard touchdown. Get another lead, give up a long kickoff return and a 3rd and 21 and 4th down conversion. Oh, and OT, let's just shank a punt 17 yards or whatever it was. Look, the Colts, I think, I'm proud of the fact we were on Atlanta plus 6.5. Takes a lot of pride, takes a lot of guts, and you got to be half stupid like us to do it. But look, I think there's a little bit of concern with the Colts only in this regard. It's back-to-back weeks. Daniel Jones has gotten pressured, hit. How about him he got his teeth blown out today? He's bleeding all over his face. Look, this is the Tua convo. I think it's the Goff convo. Daniel Jones still falls into a classification of quarterback that requires protection. He's not going to be able to freewheel. They got to button that up, Jim, because Atlanta was getting after him big.
7 sacks today after 6 sacks the week before. They're 8-2. But if you just want to play, we're winning so we can ignore all our problems, fine.
How about winning but far from a finished product?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I told you last prediction, I don't think they're going to have one of the 3 best records in the AFC. I mean, we'll see.
No.
That could be one of their undoings. For as well as they've run the ball, and Jonathan Taylor another big day, I do not know if they can win with Daniel Jones making big throws in the face of pressure in the postseason.
No, what Jonathan Taylor's doing is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And by the way, before we move on, are we really against leaving Atlanta in Berlin? Like I've said, just leave the loser in Europe. Come on.
Listen, weren't 10% of flights canceled in major American cities? Can't we just cancel Atlanta's?
Perfect.
Like you're not cleared for takeoff or landing. Well, what do we do? That's a you problem. Leave them right there, Jim. Schnitzel for all. Browns and Jets. I'm so mad at myself. I wanted to take the Jets and I didn't have the guts. But listen, Jim, tough look for the Brownies. You give up 2 special teams touchdowns in like 6 minutes in the first half. The Jets at one point had run 8 plays, and they were up. The Jets passed for 54 yards and win. And congratulations, I guess.
It was on at the sports bar for the Lions pregame today, and they're up. They had 14 points with 1 passing yard. I'm going, what witchcraft is going on right now? But for the Jets, it's 2 straight wins. It's a win after they sold their 2 best defensive players. And for Aaron Glenn, it's the thing that he needed, buy-in and wins.
I think key, give him with the decision they made to make the trades they made, which I think you and I both loved, give him the time he needs. Maybe this can take hold. It doesn't make any sense to be one and done here. Give him time. No, I love it. The Cleveland angle, I hate saying it, Jim, it might be that time. They may need to do what you and I don't feel like dealing with. Is it Shador season?
Oh.
Jim Gabriel.
I thought you were going to say fire Stefanski. I'm like,
nah, Gabriel stinks.
Okay.
Stinks. No arm strength. You think Bryce is small. This guy needs a step stool to take the ball.
The silver lining here, the loser's the winner, the winner's the loser. This is actually going to help the Browns draft position, so good for them.
Great. Just beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait to talk Giants. Texans-Jags. Look, we highlighted it. Trevor Lawrence a loser. I've had it. Jags jump the Texans 7 ways to Sunday. 3rd play of the game, pick. We're going to go ahead and score on that. Fumble recovery, going to score on that. Punt return for a TD. Gimme. And they manage. They're up 29-10. They give up 800 points in a 4th quarter to Davis Mills. Buddy, you know what's going to be on the highlight for the Jags? We beat the Chiefs. Because they're done. I'm telling you that's done. Here's my question. Did Houston save their season?
Yes. Look, they're going to get Tennessee next week. That's a 5-5 start. Davis Mills, saved their season with a 21-0 fourth quarter run, and he runs in the touchdown, and it's aided by what you said. Trevor Lawrence on his third different head coach. They had 200 yards of offense. Done. Dud. I don't know about the finances. Bust. Move on.
Done. You got to find a way. Bears, Giants. Where do you want me to go? I mean, Jackson Dart completely outplayed Caleb Williams, and Dave Hall was insistent on getting him killed, and he ran him again, and then he ran him again, and he ran him again, and again. Concussion, he leaves. Idiot, weirdo Russell Wilson comes in the game. And what happens? Shane Bowen decides he's going to fuck my Sunday, just like he's done basically every week. The Giants lose their fourth road game, went up by 10 in the fourth quarter this season.
Say that again for people.
The fourth road game this year when they had a lead of 10 or more in the fourth quarter. This is now the 11th straight road loss for the franchise, which now sets a new record for futility that only my father told me about in the 70s. What else do we have here in the notes? Let's see. Oh, yeah, the Bears won the game. But I don't really – oh, here you go. Jim, note by you. Cowboys, Broncos, and Bears. The Giants had a 92.3% win probability, 99.3%, and the ever-popular 96.9% chance of winning. And Brian Daboll has lost all of them. And you write to me, the odds of that happening are 1 in 60,000. I hate you. No, look, here's the only positive.
That was passed along to me by a listener of the show that insisted I get that to you. So I'm glad you saw it.
I appreciate it. And I'm not going to go yelling and screaming. The positive for me, the Giants are going to be the most attractive job available. Why? Jackson Dart. It's a lot easier to find a coach than it is a quarterback. Jackson Dart's, he's a dude, Jim. They don't have any help. He ain't got nothing. And they had total game control in that game, and he was doing it on his own. You put Scatterbo back there. You put Malik Neighbors back there. You add a receiver. You could see the formations. I think that's going to be a coveted gig because someone's going to trip over their dick to coach Jackson Dart.
On the Bears, can I just make an admission?
Yeah, buddy.
I have no idea who this team is. And I'm not trying to be like a Lions, Detroit hater. They are winning these games. But on their 4-game win streak, they were like plus 11 or 12 in the turnover margin. Complete smoke and mirrors. They are going to lose the game if Jackson Dart stays healthy. To their credit, they win. This is not me trying to take away what Chicago's doing.
They're not as good as you. I know I said, hey, win 2 of 3, and I'll at least take you somewhat serious. But the way they're doing it, it's kind of Jacksonville Midwest. If we get a shit ton of turnovers, we can win games. But they don't close you out.
They're in the playoffs right now.
I know that.
I don't feel like they are good enough to be a playoff team. But you know what, man? You win enough games. This isn't college football. The committee doesn't take away your spot.
Dude, I'm not ready for Monday's podcast with you regarding the 12-team playoff. But yet I hear you loud and clear. Look, they're not the Lions. They're not the Packers. I think they are better than the next team we're going to talk about, which is Minnesota Vikings have a real problem here. It's all the more shocking they beat the Lions last week. J.J. McCarthy's terrible. Ravens win.
Not J.J. McCarthy. That's 9 to you.
Yeah, I think we can do away with the persona and the eye black and the goofiness. Look, I watched a lot of this game. Ravens survived the early deficit and dominate the whole way. Hey, Vikings, shout out you. 8 false starts at home.
What?
Let me repeat that. 8 false starts at home. Never in my life have I seen that. McCarthy was inaccurate. McCarthy threw a couple of horrendous interceptions. And I'll say this, he may not be like short, but he's slight. He looks tiny out there. Man, he gets rocked. I don't know, man. Yikes.
Those interceptions, the double coverage on the one, that was the second
one.
And
he floated it. What the hell was that? What world did he think that was getting in there?
Mike, he now has 6 picks in 4 games, throwing a couple fumbles. 9 isn't exactly the player he thinks he is when he gets on the field.
No, definitely not. Let's move over. Panthers, Saints. This is why I feel like we are the drop we play on the air of Tyra Banks. How dare you? I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Look at what you did. Look what you did, you little jerk. Panthers, you're a favorite for the first time this season. You dump a home game in unceremonious fashion to the New Orleans Saints. Those helmets are sick. But again, Bryce Young barely throws for 100 yards. Bad fumble. Bad interception. short guy. I just, Jim, I like Canales. I like the defense they've built. I love the identity of running the football. All of this is good. They got to get out of Bryce Young business.
And I think this is the offseason to do it. Now, they've won too many games to be picking at the top of the draft, which is going to put them in a creative position. But, Mike, maybe it's as simple as this. They've gone as far as they can go with Bryce Young as their quarterback.
Amen. Hallelujah. Seahawks-Cardinals, not a lot to talk about. When you're up 35-0 on 9 plays, you win the game. We've already talked Rams is best in the NFC. I think Seattle deserves some consideration. They did it today. Injuries on the O-line, doesn't matter. A couple guys missing from the defense, including on the back end. Doesn't matter. And look, I'm not going to turn Arizona into anything good. I'm not. But has Arizona battled, yes or no?
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
They dropped a detonator on that team today. And they just keep it rolling. But here's my thing. I admit my bias. My Sam Darnold bias keeps me from taking them as serious as maybe I should. I'll let you vote on it.
Well, no, hold on. We just did this, and that's what makes it so hard. I'm not telling you that his chapter has already been written and his story's over.
Yeah.
But we saw them win 14 games last year with this elite distribution of the football, the Kevin O'Connell, the offensive wizardry. And then when the playoffs started, they were ceremoniously eliminated immediately.
I know.
So
here's my one thing.
How do we ignore that? How do we evaporate that? We can't.
I can't. And it's probably not fair because, man, is he playing? He's playing really well.
No, I mean, whether it was today or the primetime Sunday night last week where the ball doesn't hit the ground. I mean, he's just surgical, and it's not gimme throws. It's downfield throws.
You wonder if they can get games at home, if it would change it. Because I'm with you. But again, on the road, they're the road warriors in the regular season. I don't know. I'll just tell you, watching that game, it is. Those Seattle fans are a bunch of nerds, but they're loud nerds. Holy hell with that stadium, how loud it is.
Seattle Rams next week, 4:00 to save the 4:00 window. It's perfect.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank you, because Madrid will contribute to wrecking it. Rams-Niners, just a quick note. Is this the end of the zombie Niners and they just continue to regress, or did they just run into a buzzsaw today? I want your take. You know my thoughts on the Niners.
I mean, it's both, right? But yeah, I thought the Niners could make the playoffs, but that was before half the team died. So I think they're done.
I don't think they're making it. All right, let's get to a word from the sponsors, and we're going to talk Lions because I think we had a firing. I think we had a firing, people. Evan, hit him.
Listen, Hungry Howie's got you covered football. 51% off any large, round, original, or thin crust pizza with any of your favorite toppings. So whether you're a minimalist, just like a cheese pizza, or you want to load this thing up, whatever it is, 51% off. All you need to do, go to hungryhowies.com, order up a large round for carryout, and you're good. No strings attached, no BS, no copious legal. 51% off. Go to hungryhowies.com before it's too late. It's Hungry Howie's.
Lions brought to you by Moran Chevrolet. Now, let me get the stuff nobody cares about out of the way before we, Jim, your song is on to the main stage. Lions bomb the lifeless Commanders. Commanders lose 5 in a row, average of 22 a game. Good to see they kept that streak up. They were not interested in being here today, and the Lions went, thank you. Then we're kindly going to chop you up in 800 pieces and put you away. Job well done. Better job by me. Immediately, my phone exploded with, bro, is Campbell calling plays? Which, first of all, is a PSA. Yes, I'm aware I'm the sports person in your life. You know what, guys? We could do without the text. I think it's pretty clear when Dan Campbell goes from He-Man to school principal with the readers, and he's holding a play sheet that also doubles as an awning for an old couple in South Carolina, he's calling the plays. Then they confirmed it where it's like, well, we wanted to change some things up. Yeah, that's like a guy cutting off his arm and saying, well, I woke up wanting to change it up. No, it's permanent. You basically fired John Morton. You sit in the booth and do busy work. You're Milton from Office Space. Jim, this is your world. Do you agree with that summary of what we watched today?
Yeah, and how can you not agree with the choice, the decision, when it yields results like that? Mike, they scored on every drive of the game. It was a return to the Lions standard, right? You can say that's the opponent and the Commanders are no good. This was predictable for the Lions to bounce back, but to do it the way they did, running for 200 yards, Goff sacked 0 times, J-Mo involved naturally, organically in the offense for 100 yards, and they were in control from start to finish. No, they didn't beat the Eagles, but they did get back on the horse, build a little confidence, build a little momentum. And if this is the change, Dan Campbell's in control, all for it.
Yeah, it is. Look, we took a lot of calls this week of people wanting to fire Morton. And I tried to be the voice of reason and said, look, give me the next 2 weeks. Let me see Washington. Let me see Philly. I thought the Philly game would be the off-ramp. But if this isn't a firing or whatever you want to call it, I don't think John Morton going to be here next year. And I salute Dan Campbell for one reason. Your ass is in the jackpot now. Everyone knows you took the play calling from this guy. You can do the aw shucks bullshit and
collaboration, Mike. It's a team effort.
Collaborate this.
No,
you
but
took the play sheet, you called the plays.
But Dan is good about how he messages things to his team. And Mike, here's the key. There was weird messaging during the week. For 2 weeks in a row, if you ask me, John Morton doing the I failed JMO routine. No one cares. Win football games, score points. And then this week, we were losing one-on-ones. Our scheme was good, only to have the offensive lineman go, no, we got out-schemed. There was a public disconnect. So what does Campbell do? Get everybody in. We're in the foxhole. Give me the play sheet. I got this.
Yeah.
That's what a leader does.
No, and I'm good with it because, look, next week, this is kind of the last point, okay? And everything was perfect today. Takes two to tango. Well, they're a bad team. Right, and we put 50 on them, okay? Correct. Both things are true. You played great, and you played a corpse. Fine enough. This is what good teams do to corpses, right? Bottom line is this. Next week is all the marbles because while other teams are racking up these signature wins, what do we leave the show with? New England has gone on the road to Buffalo. They've gone on the road to Tampa. They've gotten those wins, right? Mm-hmm. Next week becomes the moment where the Lions either get serious about getting back in this chase for the 1 seed and being a preeminent Super Bowl team, or they're wild card fodder. Let's be real about it. If you lose next week to Philly, you could be 3 games back. You're never catching them. If you lose to Philly, hey, God forbid if the Pack win tomorrow night. Well, and then you lose to Philly, oh boy.
When you say wild card fodder, it's going to depend what Green Bay does because the division may be up for grabs even if the 1 seed's not. And some of that's going to be what happens Monday, and a lot of it's going to be what happens next Sunday night when Detroit plays in Philadelphia.
Yes.
But if you want to look at this, Detroit's got an opportunity here. They're going to play in the next 6 weeks. They're going to play Philly on the road, Green Bay on Thanksgiving, and the Rams, who we also talked about in the open today. That one's in Los Angeles. So you want the 1 seed. You want to play one fewer playoff game. You want to have them all in Detroit. It's right in front of you. And you had to start somewhere because they hadn't played consistently. I still have concerns about the offensive line playing consistently week in and week out.
Because again, and again, for people, be all sensitive. Don't let facts ruin a good narrative. That was a bottom 3 defense you played today. You know what Washington doesn't do? Pressure the quarterback. But so Mike, Jim's right in what he's saying. It's not you being a hater or a doubter.
I love this team. Mike, it's as simple as this. They faced a good front in Cleveland and gave up 0 sacks, right? They played Baltimore and put up 38 points and ran duo blocks and blew them off the line of scrimmage. This team has also given up heat in the last 2 weeks prior to some teams that they should have beaten, right? Yeah. The Vikings and even the Bucks, they gave up 4 sacks. This team has played inconsistently up front. And for them to win a Super Bowl, we're not moving the goalpost. That's been the goal from day one. For them to win a Super Bowl, the offensive line must be consistent. They have to run the ball. They have to protect Goff. They have to have game control. Today was step 1. But you got to do it week over week over week over week. Mike, even if they beat Philly, it's going to help for the 1 seed, but they got to do it week over week over week for me to believe they're making a Super Bowl.
No, I think what I want to see now is start stacking chips, building blocks, getting this thing refined for the month of December, because basically December becomes playoff football. Maybe for this team, it starts with that Packer game, but I'm with you. You get these showdowns, you got to win a couple of them. And again, a big road win, that'd be chicken soup for the soul. I think everybody would look around and go, okay, let's go to work. All right, let me give you a word about Moran Chevrolet. We will get to the question of the week and other things. Moran Chevrolet, it is November. It is football season, tailgates, hunting trips, and more. The Red Tag sales event is happening now at Moran Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 selling Chevy dealer. Level up your tailgate and your weekend adventures in a 26 Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cab. Perfect for hauling gear or maybe your game day stuff, Or hell, maybe you're just driving to the middle of the woods. I don't know. $189 a month, 0 down, GM employees and immediate family members. You need something more compact. They got the 26 Equinox LT, $279 a month, $999 down for GM employees and immediate family members. They make it simple. They make it stress-free. Go to MoranExpress.com or stop by on Gratiot, just north of 15 Mile in Clinton Township. Moran Chevrolet, where you always get the best price, period. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. All right, your C4 Energy question of the week brought to you by C4 Ultimate, available in 3 new flavors. Shout out Cherry Bomb Frost. That is my Friday delight. And I'm going to tell you, I demand better. That's all I'm going to say. I demand better of these questions because I feel like we're getting screwed with. Last week, it was some wacky trade question. People, do me a solid. Don't knock out a deuce of like Mad Dog 2020 at the 7-Eleven before you scan the code and send the question, okay? Don't siphon a bottle of Boone's Farm before you scan the code. This one is from Todd and Troy, who clearly was a 6-pack deep. Jahmyr Gibbs averaging 5 yards a carry. Is he the future of the Lions offense? What are we doing here, Todd?
Mike,
guy's an old pro running back. What the hell kind of question is that?
Mike, can I take this one on a day where the guy is the half the offense? Mike, he's not the future. He's the present. Hey, Mike, here's my C4 question. Was paying Sewell a good idea? It's from Jim in Royal Oak.
Right.
Yes, Jahmyr Gibbs is the present and the future of this offense. Now, not forever because running backs have a shelf life, but the fact that he can run between the tackles, you can get him outside in space, you can throw him the football. He goes angle route, Texas route for a touchdown to start the game today. Yes, he is the offense. He is what takes them from good to great. When he's getting the ball in space, he's doing things that very few running backs in football can do.
Can I save this? Since Todd apparently decided he wanted to knock out 4 tall boys before scanning the code. The fact that Gibbs is Gibbs, do you think this is David Montgomery's last year with this team?
No, I don't.
Contracts kicking in, they've had a fun time. I'm asking.
No, because they play a 20-game season and they value.
Okay.
Gibbs could be a guy that has 2,500 all-purpose yards if he didn't split or share touches, but they value getting to the finish line, and that's why Montgomery's in there to help soften up a defense and keep Gibbs fresh late in the season.
I could take a kid in the 4th round and do it a lot cheaper, right?
Sure.
I'm just asking.
But I need you to understand, the way Dan Campbell talks about David Montgomery is not how you would talk about any old running back in the 4th round. Like, they view him as an identity football player. And by the way, he gets more touches inside the 10 and the 5 than even Gibbs does. He plays a role on this team. He's not going away.
All right. People, again, no drinking and scanning, okay? Let's elevate the menu a little bit here with the question of the week. Let's get a word about C4 before my head explodes with questions like that, and then we'll get to the Sunday night preview. Sound fair?
If you have a question for us, get to a participating 7-Eleven and look for the QR code at the C4 Energy display or on the cooler. Scan the QR code and ask the question for a list of participating 7-Eleven. Find the list and contest details at 971theticket.com. C4 Energy is the energy drink you need. 200 milligrams of good caffeine in the performance or 300 in the ultimate energy. And C4, it's not your traditional energy drink. It's next level, sugar-free, made for athletes. They don't fill it with junk. And C4 just rolled out their Jim Costa approved Jolly Rancher flavors, and they study everything. And a bunch of things I can't pronounce are in it, but it's all good. C4 Performance Energy or the Ultimate Energy at 7-Eleven. And remember, if you got a question, get to a 7-Eleven, find the QR code at the C4 Energy display today.
Also, don't be high and drunk when you send it. Okay, so Crocodile Cloth brings you the Sunday night preview for a game I'm actually excited to watch. Chargers laying 2.5. They welcome in the Steelers. This feels like such a trap. Jim, I feel like we are walking into a nightmare. How are the Chargers favored in this game? Joe Alt is dead. Every tackle they have is dead. Bobby Hart, who they got off the couch, is dead. Against this Steeler front that apparently woke up last week, they just bombed the Colts, and the Chargers are casually laying 2.5. What am I missing here? Help me.
First things first. This is low-key a playoff eliminator.
Yeah. Feels
right?
like
I mean, these are two teams that are going to be in the wild card race at the end of the year, and a game like this could well decide who ends up as the 7th seed in the AFC. And you're right. I think that the Chargers are in a world of hurt right now. This is a tough matchup.
Is it? It can't just be home.
Yeah, but it's slight favorites at home. Like, I think it's tricky the other way. I don't trust the Steelers going on the road either. And you're only getting 2.5.
You know, the issue is going to be is how do they block it up? That's the problem. And look, Justin Herbert's amazing, but my God, the pressure they give up to bad fronts. What the hell are they going to do against these guys?
And think about it. They were active at the trade deadline. They brought in Trevor Penning, who was the starting left guard for the Saints. Not a very good Saints O-line. And Penning,
a barf bag.
No, yeah. Penning had been kicked into guard because he couldn't stick at tackle, the position he was drafted to play. Well, the Chargers are going to make him a tackle. Yikes. And we've seen it with the Lions. When you lose up front, everything starts to cave in. Now, Herbert's more athletic than Goff, but the same principle applies. You can't play pass. You are in 3rd and long. Your running backs don't get to the second level untouched. And for Harbaugh, who wants to play physical, you lose. Your sword's dull. You're not going very far.
How nervous are you with this Ravens take you've had that if the Steelers win tonight, it's going to make that task that much tougher? No,
it's still 2 games and they're going to play twice.
Okay, boy, I love the confidence. I do. I love it. You're committed to this take.
Yeah, one thing I want to see too, to nerd out for a second here for Sunday Night Football. The Steelers run the league is very zigzag, right? We've seen air it out, spread, passing concepts.
Yeah,
the Steelers have gone heavy. Like multiple tight ends, offensive linemen, condensed formations, and they have like one real receiver in DK Metcalf, and here they are at 5-3. So how do the Chargers match up? Do they go heavy? Does it end up getting kind of bogged down? I think that's going to be a fun little nerd X's and O's thing to watch tonight.
Who do you like?
I think I like the Steelers.
You're going to walk right into it, huh?
I don't love the Steelers.
Yeah, it's not love. Like I loved Atlanta. I love the Rams, especially because I figured out I was going against you. That was exciting for me. This is like not love. Be a lean to the Steelers. I don't think I'm getting involved with it, to be honest with you. I've had a good day. 3-1. Was 5-2 yesterday. Leave me alone. I just want to relax. Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to just sit and watch a damn game, please?
Yes.
But yeah, I'd lean to the Steelers. But I hate Aaron Rodgers. There's something I just can't root for him. His face bothers me.
It's kind of a battle of weirdos too, right? Like Harbaugh against Rodgers.
Yeah, but like Harbaugh in the NFL, I can root for him. I don't care. If Harbaugh coached the Giants, I wouldn't care. He's a cheating scumbag. I'd be good with it. It doesn't matter to me.
But he's a weirdo. He's like a football weirdo, but he's a weirdo.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Steelers, take the 2.5 or 3 if you can find it. Jim, tell them about Crocodile Cloth, will you please?
All right, your Sunday Night Football preview is always brought to you by Crocodile Cloth. You've heard us talking about this. This is the do-it-all solution for life's toughest messes. Crocodile Cloth Grill. Yeah, I know there's snow on the ground, but if you're one of these guys that likes to grill all year, pick up the Crocodile Cloth or get yourself stocked up for when the weather gets nicer. Crocodile Cloth Grill is made for grillers, outdoor entertaining, all of it. They're tough cloths. 10-inch by 15-inch. They stay wet a long time. They're going to power through any of that caked-on grease and food. Crocodile Cloth can clean your cooler, your outdoor furniture, and anything that gets messy at the tailgate or cookout. So go to crocodilecloth.com/football show. Check out a tailgate bundle and a free gift. As they say at Crocodile Cloth, go ahead, get messy.
All right, did we miss anything?
We did not, people. Same time next week.
Enjoy your football. Enjoy Sunday night. Should be a good one. We'll talk to you next Sunday night. Cookies, nice job by you. Better job by me. Go Rams, go. We'll see you guys later.